Okay, we'll get started. Matt Lohman is going to lead us in our invocations this evening.
Please pray with me. Lord Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you, Father, for the many blessings that you bestow upon each of us, Lord. And thank you for this school district as well. Father, that you allow us to be able to get the education and provide the education that's so desperately needed, Lord, to know about your creation and about this world and about how we can better serve one another. Father, we do just pray for the students, the families, the educators, Lord, and Father, for the administration as well. We just pray, Lord, that your guidance and your hand would be upon all, and that your name would be glorified, Lord, through the work, through the study, through the learning, through the love that happens in this school district. Lord God, we just again thank you for this day. Thank you for this meeting. And Father, we just pray that you would bless it and be amongst us, Lord, that we be about your business. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Matt. Call the meeting to order. We'll start with roll call. Roll call of members. Everyone's in attendance, excluding Matt Sampson and Tori Turnbow. Would like to also welcome Janelle Huff, our new board member, for place number 3. We'll start with first item is presentations with Jane Johnson.
Yes, and tonight our spotlight student from the elementary level is from Prairie View, and I'm going to let Mrs. Hendry tell us a little bit about her.
Hi, I'd like to introduce you to Mila O'Brien. Mila is a 5th grader at Prairie View. Her parents are Courtney O'Brien and Philip O'Brien. And her school activities, Mila participates in choir. She just finished Circle the State choir. And she also participates in science club after school. She participates in community activities by donating toys in the toy drive events every year. And she's planning events centered around mental health as her student governor platform. She loves playing the guitar, piano, and ukulele. She likes drawing and socializing with her friends and family, as well as playing volleyball. When she's done here, she's going to volleyball practice. And she's most proud that she was chosen to lead our youth in Oklahoma by being chosen as kid governor.
All right.
Mila O'Brien. Would you all please stand?
Please rise for the presentation of the colors. And she'll lead us in the pledge.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our next spotlight student is from Enid High School, and Mr. Craig Liddell is going to introduce her.
Thank you, Ms. Jane. Good evening, Dr. Floyd and board members, and start off by saying thank you for your service. Love everything that's up there. And we've got a couple of things coming from Enid High. Little curveball for me is I was off campus at training today, although I started the day and ended the day there, so my excuses aren't too great. But we'll work on that. But really appreciate you guys' service, the wisdom, the guidance, the time and energy that you put in. It's huge for what we do, and as educators, we really appreciate it, and as families, we really appreciate the guidance for our students. So thank you guys, very much appreciated. I have the honour of having the mic just now, and I'm going to introduce to you a junior from Enid High School, Cadence Brochu. She's the daughter of Kathy and AJ Brochu. She has strong academics, she's a really good athlete, and really has a wonderful attitude which truly helps shape our culture. She's a light. She's just a beacon in our school, and I'm going to turn over to her so she can share her magic.
Hello everybody. Like Mr. Liddell said, I'm Cadence Brochu and I'm a junior at Enid High. I am very thankful for this opportunity that I have to speak with you today about my school and why I love it so much. I'm in all honors and AP classes, I'm a straight A student, and I love to work hard. I have the opportunity to take these challenge courses is one of the reasons that I love the high school so much. I feel like taking these types of courses will prepare me for the challenges that my life will throw my way. In addition to challenging myself academically, I am also a swimmer on the EHS swim team, as well as our local club team, ACE. Being able to push myself physically as a swimmer has taught me about grit and resilience. In addition to my own success, I also love going and supporting other programs at EHS and amazing things that they have accomplished. I am proud to call Enid High School my home, and I am so proud to be a Pacer. Attending Enid High School has been the best time of my life, and I'm grateful to have an educational system that helps me prepare for life after high school. Lastly, given the School Board Recognition Month, I would love to say a special thank you to the board members because they support every student in EPS in their successes. Thank you.
All right, good job. Anybody like to get a picture? Come on down. All right, one more. There we go. All right, good job. Thank you. And we'll have some more recognitions here in just a minute. Thank you, students. We appreciate your help tonight. Ms. Jane is going to help us out with the school board with the rest of the recognitions here in just a minute, but I did want to pause to, as Mr. Liddell said, this is January is School Board Recognition Month, and we are so appreciative of our school board members that give of their time, effort, energy, and sometimes money to serve on our board, all for the benefit of our students. And board members, you have a certificate of appreciation framed there. It says Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate is presented to, and it's got the board member's name in recognition of their dedication to Enid Public Schools students and to public education in Oklahoma. It's got my signature and then the OSSBA president's signature, as well as the executive director's signature of OSSBA. We put a little blurb in the media recently, but I want to pause to read just some of the highlights about that. There are 2,700 plus elected school board members across our state, and they have great dedication to children and schools. And providing Enid's children with a quality education is the most important investment we can make. School Board Recognition Month is our opportunity to say thank you to all of our school board members, both veteran and new. And school board members across our state develop policies that and sometimes they have to make tough decisions that are complex decisions that center around educational issues and social issues that impact entire communities. And Enid EPS board members bear the responsibility for an annual budget of over $87 million, over 7,700 students, over 1,050 employees, and 18 school campuses. Our school board members make critical decisions that affect every aspect of student success, and we thank them so much for their work and their dedication to Enid Public School students. So thank you, board members, and this is just a small token of our appreciation, this framed certificate, and you can take that with you tonight. And Janelle, welcome. We're glad to have you on our board. Ms. Jane?
All right, we're going to invite Sherry Hendry and the kid governor back because the kid governor had a bout with the stomach bug in December, so I'm not sure she heard all the great things Ms. Hendry had to say about her. So I'm going to let Ms. Hendry brag on her again, and then we'll recognize her and take a picture.
Okay.
Okay, again, this is Mila O'Brien. Come on up here. Mila O'Brien, and she's been selected as the kid governor for the state of Oklahoma. And I wasn't very aware of this program. It hasn't been in Oklahoma for a very long time, but her teacher found out about it, and so Mila had to not only campaign, she had to create a video, right? She had to speak in front of her classmates. She had to have a platform, which hers is Youth Mental Health, is her platform. And so she had to go through all that, and then all the students in the state of Oklahoma that participate in this program voted, and she was the winner out of all those students. So we are very excited for her to have a one-year term as the kid governor. So I've already called Mr. Mills at Waller because this will continue next year. She's already been on some Zoom calls. She has her own liaison that helps her with things, with her gubernatorial duties, I told her. And we are going down, her whole class gets to go down for her inauguration, and that will be happening on February 7th. So February 6th, sorry, see? She's the governor and I'm not. So we're going down for that to the Capitol, and there's a special place where we will have her inauguration there. So we're just super excited about her getting to have this opportunity. She's one of our great students at Prairie View but she's now representing everyone. She said to me, when I said, "Are you nervous?" I'm just excited to be able to represent my community.
There you go. That's great.
Spoken like a great governor.
That's right.
So we thank you for recognizing her.
Congratulations. Let's give her a hand. All right. Anybody like to get pictures? Come on down. Couple more. Okay. One more. Molly, congratulations. I know you will represent us well, and good luck. Let's give her one more hand. I forgot to mention when I was talking about the Board Appreciation Month, you see the posters, and the board members have a bunch of goodies here at their place provided by a number of our students and campuses throughout the district. So I know that they are appreciated district-wide. So thank you to everyone that furnished those goodies for the board members tonight as well.
Yes. At this time, I'd like to invite Kristen Jones to come up. She is going to tell us about some individuals that participated in the Reading Universe Project and Oklahoma State Department of Education video. So I'm going to let Kristen tell us all about it.
Hi. I've had an opportunity to visit with this board and to share with this board about our efforts, the efforts our elementary teachers have made in implementing the science of reading. And tonight, I have the privilege of recognizing some of those outstanding professionals. In October, I was contacted by the Oklahoma State Department of Education asking if we would be interested in applying for a national video project. that was focused on the science of reading and looking for exemplary classrooms that could be models for that instruction and for other teachers trying to do what it is that we do here. The State Department recognized that we've done a lot of work here, made a lot of investment into implementing those practices, which is what the project was looking for. So I shared that opportunity with our kindergarten and first grade teachers, all kinder and first, and I had 12 teachers that submitted videos and application for this project. So shortly after I sent in their submissions, I was contacted by WETA, the PBS affiliate out of Washington, D.C., and they, in partnership with the Barksdale Reading Institute out of the state of Mississippi, are creating a website entitled Reading Universe, where they will put tutorials that other teachers and schools can go watch as models for how to do the kind of instruction that we do here. We completed that filming in December out at Eisenhower. We also had students from Prairie View and Coolidge that came over. The producer, Christian Lindstrom, mentioned to me that they really wish they had more than one day to film in Enid because they could have spent all their time here because we had the right practices in place that they were looking for. It took the submissions of all 12 of those individuals to make sure that we had a standout application. Among all those districts in Oklahoma that applied, they were looking for rural districts, and among all the applications, we were a standout, and we were one of 2 chosen in the state for this project. So that project's going to launch later this spring as a national website, again, for those trying to follow what we've already done. In the meantime, Mark Ray has created a montage of the application videos, some of them, we couldn't fit them all in, so that you can see a small sample of what the Reading Universe Project wanted to highlight.
All right, go ahead, Mark.
Okay, raise your hand if you can tell me that vowel. Yes, what is that vowel? Very good. We're going to move our I up here. And who can tell me, raising their hand, what's that last sound here? Oh, yeah, what's the last sound here? Oh, and said, but I don't know how to fly. Echo said, watch me, I will teach you. And she flapped her wings. Baby Echo was brave and followed his mother and landed next to her.
Down. Oh, I see some friends touching more than me. How many titles should you be touching, Aiden? 3. Aiden, can you tell us which titles you're touching? K. What does ALL say? All. Very good. We are going to be practicing spelling some all words. So when I say go, I want you to put your morning work inside your desk.
Which word rhymes with cat? Mat or mop? Mat and cat. Good. Which word rhymes with cell? Rip or well? Well and cell.
Friends are ready? Okay, remember, you're echoing the words and then show me thumbs up if they have the same ending sound, thumbs down if they have different ending sound. Come home.
Come home.
Beam.
Beam.
Lead.
Egg.
Make.
Ache.
Neck.
Neck.
Fuzz.
Us.
Tack.
Never.
What 2 words? Listen to them again. Nicest, linger, never.
Linger.
What two words start with the same? Nicest and never. Good job. Let's go to the next one. What two letters come together to say ch? Not sh. Chop. I am going to chop up the vegetables. Chop.
So this evening, we're going to recognize the 12 teachers whose video applications brought this project to Enid.
All right, when we'll, as she calls her name out, we'll have them come over here and line up and get a certificate from our vice president, and then we'll hold our applause and we'll recognize them all as a group at the end. How's that?
Alicia Chick from Taft. Alyssa Plummer from Prairie View was unable to be here this evening. Ashley Powell from Eisenhower. Brandy Fagan from Garfield. Casey Earl from Prairie View. Kendra Smith from Coolidge. Mercedes Kirkhart from Coolidge. Sarah Garris from Hoover. Tara Lausch from Garfield. Tiffany Wilson from Coolidge. Tony Webb from Garfield. And Ramey Holland was not able to be here with us tonight.
Let's give them all a hand, please. All right, anybody like to get pictures? Come on down, we'll get a few. I think our district has done a great job of imparting the science of reading the correct way, and I know it takes a lot of moving parts, but these ladies are just prime example of how effective that can be, so we appreciate everything that you ladies have done. Let's give them one more hand, please. Thank you, Kristen.
All right, at this time, I would like to invite Brad Gore to come up and be recognized. He is one of our rock star coaches. He's a baseball coach at Enid High School, and he is our second coach to be inducted into an OSU Hall of Fame, and this time it is the Oklahoma State University Baseball Hall of Fame. So I'm going to let him say just a bit about that, and then we'll recognize you and take some pictures. Very proud of you.
Well, first of all, thank you, board members and everybody, for acknowledging this. It was a real surprise, and I'm just honored to be, here tonight, and just thankful to get that honor. I played with a lot of Hall of Fame guys, so I know kind of what that entails. So I feel really blessed to be here, and I'm just thankful for this award. So thank you again for having me.
What a great honor. Congratulations, Coach. Might remember that our head football coach, Rashawn Woods, was recently inducted into the OSU Football Hall of Fame, and now our head baseball coach, Brad Gore, is getting inducted on January 27th in a ceremony for the OSU Baseball Hall of Fame. So congratulations, Coach. Yep, you're getting around pretty good on that bum knee, so good job. Yeah.
And our last recognition tonight, and no one from Emmerich's could be with us, but we want to publicly say thank you to Emmerich's Van and Storage for their donation of the Enid Public Schools Activities trailer. It's like the back end of a semi-trailer is what I think of, for us to be able to haul band equipment, musical equipment, just whatever's kind of needed. So we really appreciate their support to our district and the donation of that trailer.
Yeah, I hate they couldn't come tonight, but Paul Baker and his daughter Nikki have been tremendous supporters over many years, and we appreciate that donation. We're gonna have that trailer outfitted such that a lot of our different activities can benefit from carrying stuff to and from events, and that is going to be a great addition to our fleet. So appreciate them donating, and appreciate Emmerich's support over many years. Thank you very much. All right, is that it, Ms. Jane? For recognitions, all right, thank you very much.
Okay, that takes us to item number 2, audience to visitors. We have Jenny Scott.
Good evening. On behalf of Enid Education Association, we just wanted to recognize you for your service. We know that this is a volunteer position and that you spend countless hours each month trying to make sure that this is not only a great place for our students to learn, but a great place to work. So on behalf of our appreciation, we just wanted to give you a little tiny token of gratitude. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you. I think the baby is still in the show, though.
Yes, not fair.
Not fair at all, yeah. Well, we'll appreciate EEA doing that and providing that to the board members. And as I said earlier, we appreciate all of the campuses and individuals and students and employees providing tokens of appreciation to our school board. And again, school board members, we appreciate your service. So thank you very much.
Okay, item number 3 is superintendent's report. Dr. Floyd.
All righty, got several things to run through here. We'll try to do it quickly. First up, you might remember that Christy Laddick, who heads up our ESS substitute program, she was ill last month and unable to come, so she is back with us today, and you have a 2-page handout there in front of you, board members. It was also in your electronic packet, and she's going to say a few words. You might recall that this is our first year to outsource our substitute teaching process, and our intent was to try to improve our fill rate, and Christy's going to tell us about how we did on our first semester fill rate.
Okay, thank you, board members, for having me this evening. I apologize I wasn't able to be in December, but COVID. So, currently, right now, well, okay, I say currently right now, it is ever evolving and changing. So, it says active substitute 74. It's right around there. Goal for active substitutes, I would really like to get to 100 before the year goes out, and always have about 100, just based on the number of absences, the number of working substitutes I can count on any given day. So those things. I am continuing to actively recruit subs. I've been going to some campuses. I'm going to go to parent-teacher conferences. There's book fairs coming up at the elementary schools. Just trying to find ways to get more applicants, more word out there about the need for substitutes. We also just recently started partnering with you guys to also fill voids in the child nutrition. We have not had as many applicants for that part of it as I would like, but there's also ideas that I'm starting to get as far as recruiting for those positions as well. Okay, and also if there's a sub that we've already hired with ESS for Enid, they don't have to reapply. It's a real simple addition.
And employees can get a referral fee if they want to refer a sub?
Absolutely, and I will finish with that.
Okay.
And this is just a kind of, Oops. Okay.
You want to hand her?
Is the one that they have?
Yeah, can you hand that to her so she'll have it in front of her? Thank you.
Okay. It is mostly accurate. I edited it a little bit. In the left-hand column, you can see the fill rates for 21, and then the fill rates for 22. whenever I'm doing an orientation for the subs that are coming in, I always try and explain to them why Enid Public Schools decided to go with ESS, and one of the things is that I know the people who have been trying to fill sub spots in past years have wore so many hats. I know that the ladies over here in the HR office, I know the secretaries at the schools, and with me, I'm able to do solely that. And so I think that shows in the increase. Just simply having a single person, that's what they concentrate on. So you can see the increase in fill rates. December, we did, you can tell as the year went down, or as the year went on, it did lower. And I was speaking with my supervisor, and I think a lot of that is subs that applied, started off the school year, found other employment. I think Enid Public Schools was very lucky to actually acquire some of those subs as teachers. And so to me, that is a good thing, because they were quality substitutes. They're going to be quality teachers in the classroom. So I'm still, looking over the trends, finding out based on X number of substitutes, how many are working on any given day, and trying to get those fill rates up. I know that today it was like 84% on today, so that was an improvement from last week. Last Friday we had a rough Friday. Everyone wanted a 4-day weekend, I believe. So, but that's all right. I actually have 4 that I hired 2 today, and I have 2 more coming to be hired this week. So I think that with the new semester, we're going to start increasing that fill rate again, like we did at the beginning of the year, and keep getting in great subs and keep going as we are.
Well, you can take a look at those 2 columns there and see that last year we were in the 40s and 50s fill rate percentage, and then on the right-hand column there, they've been extremely successful for us in raising the fill rate to the 80s, 80% monthly. So I think the program in summarization has been successful, and we hope that you can continue to build on those successes.
Yes, and I've really enjoyed my position here and working with
Good.
all of the faculty, staff, and everything, so it's been a blast. So.
All right, keep up the good work. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we've got our strategic plan committee chair report on curriculum and instruction, and that committee is headed up this time, is headed up by Kristen Jones, Jeff Erbel, and Roy Bartnick. So they're going to come, and you have a handout at your place, board members.
Good evening. We're not going to go word by word on this, but I'm going to talk about Objective 1. And our objective in that area is really to increase communication with our parents. We've got a lot of ways that we work with our parents to get information out. One of those main ways is Power School. We have a Power School parent portal, and we believe that it's important that our parents have access to the portal and go to the portal so they can stay on top of their students' grades, attendance, and other information that they can find in the parent portal. So we've been working on an effort over the last year and a half to push our enrollment or student update information into the system. So we've had our enrollment center since 2017, and we've had an online system, and it works really well. So every year we've been trying to figure out how to get our returning students to use that system to update their information. So we had a strategic committee that met all of last school year, worked on a plan, and at the beginning of this year, or the end of last year, we rolled out a plan to get more people to fill that information out, and they're doing that through the parent portal. So we saw about a 58% fill rate of parents updating student information this summer. It's very important that we have updated student information as contacts, phone numbers, address, emails. So if we need to get in touch with a parent for whatever the reason may be, we need that updated information. We had about a 58% fill rate this year. We'd like to get that to 75% going forward. One of the reasons is we have other systems that we have parent portal access to. Our learning management systems are Seesaw and Google Classroom. Both of those have parent access components to them, and teachers have the ability to turn it on right now. Another component is our Go Guardian feature, which is our filtering product. It has a parent portal to where parents can monitor their student activity at home. They can actually turn off the Chromebook at night if they want. We haven't been able to roll that out yet because our information for parents hasn't been accurate enough to do that. We're hoping after this summer we get enough updated information from our parents that we'll be able to roll that out, and that'll give parents more access into what their students are actually doing inside and outside of the school. It'll show them what they're doing in school. They won't be able to monitor or control that because we control what they do during school hours, but they'll be able to actually control what they do at home. They can turn off their Chromebook, they can block their websites or do stuff like that. So part of our digital communication plan to parents, we're working on getting updated information. So we'll ask our parents when we start that in the spring to make sure that they update all their contact information for us so that we have accurate information. Not only for this, it's really important if we have an emergency. But we're getting into snow season. If we need to cancel school for whatever reason, we need to have accurate phone numbers, and our parents change phone numbers all the time. They change emails all the time. They move a lot without telling us. So we need our parents to make sure they're telling us all that information all the time. So it is a strategic plan. Part of the strategic plan is we make sure we have that information updated on a regular basis, and I think we've got a plan going forward to actually get to that 100%. It's taken us a while, but I think we'll get there.
How are you? I'm Roy Bartnick. I'll talk to you a minute about blended learning. I know it's a term we throw around a lot about how we use computers in class, but it's a twofold thing. One, that we have to get teachers on board so they understand how blended learning is and incorporate more technology into their curriculum. And if you saw on one of the handouts there, we talk about the SAMR model, where it's that boiling water and a frog type of mentality. You just can't turn it on and expect 100%. So it's a gradual learning for the teachers. They have to learn how to do it as well. The kids on the other side, they're really good at technology. Now it's gradually get them to use it for the way we want them to use it. They're pretty much on cutting edge. But the idea is to blend those two things where you have this zeal for technology and this big amount of educational acumen and put them together where kids are getting what we need them to do with it. But also, as you see here on the one-to-one technology we have in schools right now, every kid down to a pre-K has a device. So to leverage that is the big push right now. So even at the elementary level, a lot of the books are already online, which, as you see here, cuts a lot of cost. The curriculum is updated constantly. You're not waiting for a reprint of a book like some schools where they have still, books from 10, 15 years ago. So the books that we have are current, and they'll continue to be current as long as we're using this effectively. So any questions about blended technology? I'm kind of into it, so I'll talk to you all night. So, all right.
Thanks. Kristen?
I'll just talk about a couple of the last things. We are really making a push toward project-based learning at all levels. If it's Googleable, it's easier for kids to find answers instead of create answers and think. And so project-based learning allows them to, a mixture of student-directed and teacher-directed learning, so that students are creating projects and creating outcomes that demonstrate everything that they've learned. So that's one of the things that we're going to continue working on and putting in place. The primary program that I'm going to visit with you about is on the second page or on the back side of the handout that you received, is our aeronautics and aviation program. We began that at the high school this year for the first year. We currently have, or as of a couple of weeks ago, had 67 students enrolled in Aviation 1 or 2, one of those options, and we look to put in Aviation 3 next year so that our Aviation 2 students have the next class to move into, and so we're excited about that. Mr. Crowley has done an outstanding job with that program. We've had a lot of grant funding that's come into that program and allowed us to buy simulators and hands-on equipment and things for kiddos, and that's been a highlight, I think, for us this year. Our middle schools continue with flight in space. We actually started with them before we moved this to the high school. Our middle schools offer a flight in space elective, and as of this year, we are beginning to pilot aviation things at the elementary level. We received a pretty substantial grant from the Air Force. With the help of Colonel Higgins, we were able to get a little over $20,000 that's helped us in part with that elementary component. Materials for teaching aviation units have been delivered to Eisenhower and McKinley, and they will be using those this semester so that we can kind of continue creating a vertical pathway that will ultimately roll us K-12 or pre-K-12 with aviation.
All right, we appreciate y'all heading up this Committee on Curriculum and Instruction. Any questions from board members? Joe?
Have we made any headway towards the actual flight, finding people that would actually be willing to do the training beyond the certification of a test?
So in order to get flight hours, that happens in year 4, so we're a couple of years away from that. In order to have that component, we would need to solve the finance issue for the price of hours for kids to get in the air. That's something that our aviation committee has talked about in broad strokes, but have not dug into. We really haven't dug into the nitty-gritty on that. It's a couple of years out in terms of actually being able to put kids in planes, and so we've been kind of trying to figure out what that looks like for us, but those conversations are ongoing.
Obviously, the big cost there is fuel, and it's continuing to increase. So,
yeah, there's a per hour cost, per hour, per kid, per. So, just making sure that we can cover all of that and offer it to students and make sure it's equitable for everybody, whether they can pay or not.
Anybody else? All right, thank you, folks. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
These next few items are just informational mainly, but several of our administrators will be at the OASA Legislative Conference in the city January 24th through the 25th. Then all 3 of our middle schools for the second year will be having their middle school dance all together, and that will come up on Saturday, January 28th, 7 to 9 p.m. at the Stride Center. And then on February the 1st, at 9 a.m. at the high school gym, we'll have our part of the National Signing Day ceremony, and we have several that will be signing Division I scholarships that day, so that's always a great event. So I look forward to that. Leadership Greater Enid has our Education Day coming up on February the 9th, and our part of that day is from 11:40 to 12:20, and we'll have that group in to the high school gym spirit room, and I'll talk to them a little bit, and then we will divvy them up into 2 groups, and Mr. Liddell and Mr. Tibbs will give them a grand tour of our competition gym facility and performing arts center before they have to get back on the bus and get to their next stop. Parent-teacher conferences come up on 2 consecutive Mondays, February 6th and February the 13th in the afternoon and evening. And then we'll have no school in exchange for that, no school for students and staff on Friday, February the 17th. First EPS legislative Zoom meeting comes up on February the 24th at 7:30 a.m. We'll have 3 of those this year, and the first one is on that date. Our enrollment numbers currently as of January the 11th were 7,710. In December, we had 7,764, so that is actually a decline of 54 students. But as often happens during the Christmas holidays, some people move, some people get different jobs, and I think that's part of what we see there. So that's not completely unusual to see a little bit of a decline there. New Vance Air Force Base liaison officer is Nicole Painter, and there's Nicole right over there. She has taken the place of Colonel Timmy Higgins. Colonel Higgins has gone to Tinker Air Force Base now. So Nicole, we are glad to have you filling that school liaison officer position, and they got big shoes to fill there coming in behind Colonel Higgins. But Colonel Higgins did on Monday of last week send me an email that, and I think Kristen alluded to this, that it was his pleasure to announce that EPS has been awarded the largest Air Force STEM grant to date. EPS was approved for FY23 for the requested $29,181, all to go toward STEM. So we appreciate his part in that. We appreciate the folks that put that document together and applied for that grant, and we're thrilled to accept that largest Air Force STEM grant to date. So appreciate them, and we appreciate the Air Force. And Nicole, we look forward to working with you. Let's see here. I believe that is the extent of my superintendent report.
Thank you. That takes us to item 4, discussion and possible action to approve the following consent agenda items, be 4A1 to 4A6. a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Matt, seconded by Joe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay,
Motion carries.
motion carries.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep. On these next action items, make sure you ask for discussion if anybody has discussion. Okay.
So then 4B, discussion and possible action to approve the district's financial report for December 2022. Dr. Robinson.
All right, once again, finances are looking in pretty good shape. I will tell you this, that we are still expending a lot of funds on a lot of one-time projects because of the federal dollars coming in, and so that's why encumbrances are up a little bit. But one of the things I want to talk about this month are the investments that were actually made in some treasuries and CDs with Security Bank in December, investing our money. As you guys know that over the past few years, interest rates have not been worth anything, and so our money that we've had saved really hasn't grown any. But as of December 22nd, we have invested just almost $13 million that's going to grow into a pretty substantial amount of money for us in the 6-month period. And so, for instance, our general fund, with that money we've invested, we're looking at interest being $400,000 plus for the financial fiscal year. Fund 21, the building fund, we're looking at adding an additional $40,000 plus in interest. Fund 25 is the same because we invested $1.5 million in both those funds. Another $40,000 plus added to Fund 25. And then our bond funds, 31, 38, and 39. This is not counting the short-term investment we do when we do the bond sale in March. This is off of the small amount of about $350,000 total, and then another $50,000 on top of that. We're going to get another $15,000 off of that. Some people would go, well, $15,000 off of $500,000 doesn't sound very good. That's pretty good compared to what the marketplace we've been in prior to this. So every dollar benefits students in some way to make our school district better. And the way I look at interest, whether it's off of a CD or a treasury, that is money that's just given to us that doesn't have a burden to the taxpayer. And so I want to bring that to everybody's attention, that's additional revenue for the district. Another reason to keep a good positive fund balance is to bring in additional dollars that we can expend in many different areas. And so just want to bring that to you guys, and we'll talk about expending funds on the next 2 items. So just need approval to approve the finance report.
Okay, thank you, Sam. Any discussion? Do I have a motion to approve the financial report?
So moved.
Motion by Joe. Second by Matt. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. It'll take us to 4C. Discussion and possible action to approve the purchase of 2 new activity buses to replace this oldest charter bus in the fleet with a Roberts Truck Center bus for $157,152 and a Mastera transportation bus for $349,900. $107,050 will be covered by the fiscal year 23 general fund and $400,000 through the 3-year lease purchase agreement.
Okay, so this is kind of a 2 action item, which you'll see we have Part D, that's the lease purchase, but I want to talk about the actual bus purchase first, and then we'll do Part D. In the years past, we've applied for a grant that was with the DEQ Volkswagen settlement that happened several years ago, and we've been able to take our oldest buses, our oldest activity buses, take them off the road, and then we get a 25% rebate from that grant process. However, that grant has changed this year to where we can only apply that for yellow buses. We cannot apply it to activity buses. So there's been kind of a late change in this game that we have to have 100% of that cost. However, I do believe we're in good financial position to absorb that cost, and I think with our physical location here in Enid, with where our students travel, and with what we do activity-wise, and I'm not just holding this to athletics and the extracurriculars at the high school, we even have elementary students that we put on the road to go to the Science Museum, different places in Oklahoma City or Tulsa, that we need to put them in the very best transportation we can, especially when you're talking about vehicles going down the road at 70, 75 miles an hour. There's no reason to have them in jeopardy of safety. So what we're looking at is The first activity bus at $349,900 is a large coach bus. This is kind of it's not a new concept, but it's a newer concept for school districts to acquire this type of bus. 57 passenger, that's as large as our largest activity buses. It's made on a truck chassis, so it's not welded steel square tubing together like we have on activity buses, and it's a brand new bus. To go buy a brand new activity bus, a road charter bus like we see going down the road many times, would be in excess of $500,000 and would not have anything on it other than seats and carpet. While some people might say that's all a bus really needs, these students are on these buses for hours upon time. And I feel like we owe it to them to give them somewhat of a comfortable ride going down the road if we can afford to do that. And so this bus, one of the features of it that I really like is it comes with rear-facing seats that don't take away from any of the seating. So our coaches, our sponsors, our teachers that are on those trips, they can have a rear-facing seat, and it gives them 100% viewing of the students that are on those buses, which I think is a big positive above what we have right now. The other part of this bus, they also have integrated video systems with this price. So while we talk about high school students, they may not need an integrated TV system to watch the same movie because they all have their own devices. Our elementary students may not have that luxury. So taking a trip to the Science Museum, we can actually put a movie on for them for that hour and a half, 2-hour ride, and they would get to watch that show or whatever the teacher has for them for that experience. So really nice bus, a lot of storage, really kind of next level for us, but at not a next level price in my opinion. Because a used bus on that activity right now are running over $300,000, and so to me, to get a new bus at $349 is a pretty good price. Activity bus 2, we actually are. This is a picture of a bus we already have in our fleet. The good thing about this bus is while it may not seat as many, our coaches can drive these buses. So we had Coach Gore here earlier tonight. Coach Gore could take his baseball team on this bus. We don't have to find a driver for him to take the baseball team on that trip. He can drive it as a coach. It doesn't require air brake certification, just a CDL. Huge advantage when taking those kind of trips. It's a school bus. We know school buses are the safest buses we can put down the road, and it has a price tag of $157,000. While not as nice and with the same seating capacity or storage capacity, it does serve the purpose. It gets us to those events that we need where we may not be able to have a bus driver to take them. However, we do our best to find a bus driver to take them on the road. So we would end up with a total of 6 activity buses once this is approved. What I am told on activity bus 1, we can more than likely have that within the month. As soon as I get financing and all of that put in place. Activity bus 2 could be up to 6 months before we actually have it in place. So there's a little bit of time on that one, but I think we're in a good position. So just need approval for the purchase of this bus. Again, we're going to basically cover about $107,000 out of our general fund this fiscal year, finance $400,000, and I'll talk about the $400,000 when we get to the next item instead of covering it all right now.
Do we have a motion?
Move the approval.
By Randy. Second. Second by Matt. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. That'll take us to 4C.
D.
Nope, D. Next page. Discuss and possible action to approve Board Resolution number 671, approving and affirming a lease purchase agreement and authorizing the execution of the same. Designating lease transaction as a qualified tax-exempt obligation, authorizing employees of school district council and board council pertaining to financing, and authorizing school district officials to execute any and all necessary documents in connection with the aforementioned transaction with Security National Bank of Enid for the execution of a 3-year lease purchase of 2 activity buses.
So this is how we're going to pay for those 2 activity buses. We'll basically have our down payment, $107,000, split between the 2 buses, and then we'll take and apply $300,000 to the larger bus, another $100,000 to the smaller bus. The reason I think it's important for us to go into this financial obligation is I told you about the interest rates that we're earning right now. The interest on this finance will be very similar to those rates we're earning. I don't expect them to go over 5%, but they'll be real close. And to hold on to district cash for that big emergency, to me, is worthwhile. If finances look really good at the end of next year, we can pay this completely off with Security National. It's not something we're obligating ourselves to 3 years for, but we have the option of going 3 years and making those $130,000, $140,000 payments. One thing I want to remind everybody of is that we had on the books 2 previous lease purchases. One of those was on our new turf, which I don't know if you can call it new anymore because it's over 3 years old. But we did a 3-year on turf for both David Allen and for Selby. And then we did a 3-year lease purchase when we did the LED light retrofit across the district. Those to me were advantageous. We were able to keep some money in the bank for that emergency that didn't arise, thank goodness. And those were actually finalized and paid off in this fiscal year. So both of those have been paid off. So we have no more. So this will be our only lease revenue purchase we have on the books going forward for the next 3 years. So this resolution, basically you're granting me the authority, if there's any bond counsel or anything like that that's come into play, that I can execute those documents. The plan is to have all of those executed beginning of next week when Jason Turnbow is back at work after his ski trip. So, yeah.
All right, so do we have a motion for resolution number 671, activity bus lease purchase?
So moved.
So moved by Matt. Second by Randy. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, takes us to item number 5, new business.
Don't have any.
Okay. Then item 6, reports, items of information, board comments and/or questions. Colonel Miller, excuse me.
I think all the good stuff from Vance already got covered.
Sorry, I stole all your thunder.
Thank you. Any other members? Okay, our next meeting will be February 20th, 2023 at 6 p.m. at this location right here. Okay, next is item number 8. Discussion and possible action to approve a proposed executive session, discuss the employment of those individuals and/or positions listed on the attached Exhibit A and Exhibit B, possible purchase of or appraisal of real estate property, and pending or possible litigation. Motion by Joe, second by Matt. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. We're in executive session.
All right, shouldn't be too long.